Welcome everybody back to The Hole in the World, an actual play of The Invisible Sun by Monty Cook Games. Special interlude, The War Report, incidentally. As always, I am your GM, Zach, otherwise known as Great Zamino. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm super stoked to be joined, as always, by my four wonderful cast members, starting in the top left-hand corner. And by the way, guys, if we're having a little bit of audio issues, just tell me, and we will restart it so everybody can have their proper introductions. But anyway, speaking of proper introductions, Marcy, if you will start us off.
Dare I?
Dare you?
Well, you know, this we'll call this take one and see if this actually sticks. If you've been watching it, you know that I tend to do my introductions 2 or 3 times. But I am Marcy, aka Experimental Madness, and that's where you can find me most places around the internet, except for Twitter, where I am and shall continue to remain the resident cryptid under Marciful. Today I am back playing the Irreverent Mott, the connected empathic apostate who fuses nightmares to fists.
Awesome. And below her on the overlay, Bill, if you go ahead and give us your introduction.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bill. You can find me on Discord. I am at Ghostbike. And today I am Kieran von Melis, known as the Tailor, an Eremitic Stoic of the Order of Makers who warps time and space.
Excellent. Moving over to the right-hand side, Hopper.
That's me. I'm Hopper. I use they, them pronouns, and I can be found in, on, and around the interwebs at Fail Deadly. That is with a 3 instead of an E in the deadly, so it kind of looks like Fail Badly. And tonight I will be playing Okrus, the ardent, iconoclastic apostate who heralds endings. Yeah, I got it for once. I did it
all right.
one time.
I was going to say, or I was waiting for you to add an extra verb in there or something. Finally, Marissa, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marissa, also known as Critical Kitten, with a variety of punctuation here and there in internet places. And I am playing the battle strategist and only mildly Machiavellian Magister Allegra von Hollingsworth, call sign the Rook, who is an Eremitic Stoic of the Order of the Vance, who claims dominion over ideas.
Awesome. So, guys, I just am going to quickly enable Nightbot very quickly and then disable something. And then I will go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about what has been going on in the world of The Hole in the World since we last met. Namely, you guys undertook in earnest the beginning of Operation Lowl, which is a mission that you guys have kind of created for yourselves. Basically, you have taken it upon yourselves to find the traitor Ordo Rem, using a few less than savory tactics for the torment of, or the torture and interrogation of, I want to say torture, but I think it's a little bit of torture, not graphic torture, but the whole thing.
You can say it.
Yeah, it was a rough go for the tear.
There were questions asked, and it hurt.
It hurt. It did end up hurting eventually, but it wasn't in the asking of the questions that hurt. It was really
Ask me if I care.
There we go. Maybe not. Maybe I won't do that. But I will go ahead and say that essentially you guys found out what you needed to know. Not only in that you found out that Ordo had sent the tear after Kieran, with the intent of basically killing him, but also that with a little bit of psychomancy, or psychiometry, I should say, Kieran, you were able to locate the exact location of Ordo Rem and whatever facility he is using to hide himself within the Indigo Sun. So basically, you guys began suiting up, making ready for preparations for war. That said, a few disturbing bits of information came to light. Namely, you discovered that one of the vances under Allegra's command, Ardeno, is actually missing. And you were informed of this by Arwen, another one of her loyal, trusted lieutenants within the organization. Accompanying you is also the Weaver Ethereal Baob, a member of the last gasp that Okris recruited from the battlefield and who is proving herself an invaluable morale booster at the very least. Not only that, I believe that, Okris, you had a strange conversation, one that took place inside yourself to ascertain what information you could about the dark. And as it was implied from that scene, the entity that you were talking to seemed very familiar to Twigg, who is watching this simulacrum like the rest of our normal PCs unfold. Finally, I will say that as you guys are beginning to make your way towards this clandestine facility, Everett, you had a very tense interaction with the Arabast Maduin, who it has been revealed is a member of this group that was previously known as the Enemy, and it revealed to you not only its true allegiances, namely to Shaya Kazan, your general and close friend, but also it revealed that the Arabast are a conquered people. So, with all of this information kind of unfolding, this is how and where we start our entry into Operation Lowl. And let me set the scene a little bit with some music. You are 2 miles away from your objective. You get the sense, all of you, as you continue to make your way, that it is not quite, even with the snapshot of this facility that you managed to secure, Kieran, you are not quite sure what awaits all of you upon your arrival. So my question, as you begin this march forward, what are your preparations for this next mission? Are any of you doing anything else while you are on the road 2 miles out from this location?
I'll just put out that I've got my maker crew with me, so anything that you guys wanted to outfit yourselves with, I think we should probably have.
Okay. Anybody else?
Just, I think you made me bring people, right?
You are confirmed as bringing Ethereal Baob. I do know that Root was in the interrogation with you. If you are bringing Root, go ahead and say so, but that is kind of, I think, what we understood.
Let's bring along Garbage Boy.
Okay. Allegra, Everett, any other preparations?
Allegra is going to cast Chesnor's Glass Skin on herself. So that is a level 3 spell. It means that her flesh becomes mirrored, which by this point you guys would have seen before, so probably won't wig you out too much, but she gains +1 defense to magic and tonal immunity to unwanted minor magic and minor flux effects.
Cool.
Oh yeah, no, I'm totally gonna do I did this. So I have invoked Extra Moment. And I can take an extra action by taking one now. So that's done.
Awesome. Okay. Everett.
I'm going to cast Myrmidon's Strength, which is going to give me additional damage when in combat. It ends automatically when the sun rises or sets.
Cool.
I will also cast Myrmidon's Strength.
We will need to check after each combat encounter, though, for depletion, but right now it's just base. I think it's just on.
Okay. So you guys have these. Make sure you're keeping track of your bonuses. Yeah.
The other thing, Zach, is I have the path. The path I have chosen is that of the Red Sun.
Awesome. Okay, good to know. Also, for our apostates, remember that the raven is in effect on the Testament of Suns. Even when we go back to the path and it looks blank, just know that that is understood to be there. That is for your abilities.
What is that, strengthening or weakening?
It is the adept, I believe, of notions, I want to say.
Ocean clocks and wind.
Yeah, I believe so. So basically, it isn't strengthening anything as an adept. I think you actually get -1 to your family if it is on the Testament. So just bear that in mind. And as an apostate, you can choose to ignore that. Okay, so let's get a marching order. Not only that, kind of like, I want you guys to give me also any kind of perception rolls that you'd like to make in anticipation of what you're hoping to find.
What's this landscape look like, Zach?
Okay, so as you are making your way through this landscape, you are several miles, I want to say, northeast of your facility in Upper Taverswood, or Upper Taverswood. And so essentially what is happening is as you kind of go out, there is a great deal of wreckage, as it is the site where you last saw two large, basically complexes of trenches. Those trenches have been laid bare by several what look to be large craters. The place, this is still far away from where you guys recovered the asset and encountered the hate cyst, but it is no less foreboding. There is a great deal of wreckage. There are holes punched through buildings, just a inordinate number of ruins, and I think there is a very incredibly large crater as you kind of look out. It's almost akin to a crevasse. If it were any larger, it would be kind of almost like, I think it would be bordering on a canyon. But that said, that canyon begins about a half a mile into this remaining trek. So my question is, with that being said, that being the case, what are all of you doing? How are you kind of standing? What are you doing in kind of like this formation?
Is there time while we're walking to refresh a pool?
Absolutely. I will say You have 2 miles. You can easily take 10 minutes or an action.
Awesome. And I would like to take a closer to the rear position to keep eyes on if anyone could be possibly flanking us.
Okay. Why don't you give me... and actually, this is a good thing I will ask. Where is Sophinox in all of this, Allegra?
Yeah, so Sophinox actually probably has been spending or flying close to Maduin. I think Maduin is an object of interest to Sophinox. And so regardless of how Allegra is currently feeling about Maduin, the fact that Sophinox seems to have immediately started to trust him is giving her something to think about, that's for sure. So I think insofar as it's possible for a raven to roost on the shoulder of another bird-like creature and create a kind of meta bird, that's sort of what Sophinox has been doing as we all march down this path. I do think that as we get closer to our destination, Allegra will sort of summon Sophinox and ask Sophinox to take to the skies to give us a sort of aerial view of what we're looking at and what we're dealing with.
Yep. Excellent. So guys, it was just noted to me that we do need to turn 2 cards just because several spells were cast. So I'm going to switch us over to the path and I am going to turn those cards. The first card is the Ambassador, which is the adept of visions, swans, blades, and water. Its meanings are diplomacy, reason, discussion, and intelligence. She hails from a far-off land, carrying a message of unity and civility. Bad timing. The ambassador wishes to talk, not to fight. She knows that words and wisdom offer a path to success that violence never could. Her words are careful and measured, never rash or ill-considered. If only there were more such individuals to make the world a better place. The ambassador is the adept of the Visions family. Her magic and skill come from her ability to persuade, which again brings us the idea that words are as magical as any spell or ritual, just another type of incantation. The offering of a broken blade is an overture for peace. In this case, the game narrative says an NPC is very smart. So I will go ahead and say that I think that this is attributed to Arwen. Arwen, as you are continuing to walk, has grown quiet. I think there was this kind of worry that you originally had for her well-being and kind of her state of mind, but she has grown quiet and she's beginning to, you realize, kind of take in all of their surroundings. So for anybody who is kind of gauging their surroundings, Everett, that includes you, you are going to have a +1 to your venture, which I will explain later.
Awesome.
Okay. Savage Sword is our second card. It strengthens red and it diminishes blue. It is Vision, Swans, Blades, and Water again. Meanings: war, savagery, strength, violence, and brute force. The sword is a weapon of war, a metaphor for any kind of weapon one might wield. The Savage Sword is our basest nature, our predilection towards violence, and our shameful bloodlust, but it is also our strength to overcome obstacles and foes when we need to. It is the opposite of thought, strategy, or consideration. It is immediate and decisive, without hesitation or regard for consequence. The Savage Sword is the opposite of the revealing knife in most respects. A battle occurs, someone is murdered, something is destroyed, an NPC displays sudden and unexpected savagery and ruthlessness. I don't think those fit. Some kind of conflict is imminent is the divination. Almost certainly blood will be shed, but this can go either way. It might be a danger to the person in question, or it might be a recommendation that they must use violence or brute force to succeed. This card turn can also indicate strength or even a specific individual who is known for their physical prowess. So I think this is Root's card. I think Root looks to you, Okris, and just says, so what are we thinking? Like smash and grab? What's going on here?
Yeah, smash and grab.
Ooh, I like that. Give me a tingle. Yeah, I think then once again, Root kind of joins in lockstep with the rest of you and casts an eye towards the rest of the group.
In terms of mechanics, both of those cards are in my family.
Uh-huh.
What were are there any bonuses that are in effect right now?
Let me check the card on the path. I will tell you this. The bonus right now is it strengthens red and it diminishes blue. So I am going to just take a look at the path of suns. It is currently on the green sun, so you do not get any additional bonuses.
Not even for it being in my family?
But if it's in your family, you get +1 to your venture.
That's what I'm asking, yeah.
Cool. So you have +2 to start. I would like you to make a perception roll, and you can also roll with Sophanox's level Allegra if you want to look for something else. Start with 9 as your venture.
Sure. Yeah. Well,
Are we both rolling?
you go first, I think, and then I'll go after you.
Gotcha. So I've already got the +2, and we have a 9 to the venture. I'm going to pop a Bene into that.
Okay.
Just to keep it going. Oh my god, we've got angry people down the street apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 6, 7, 8. So I got an 8 all told with the pluses.
Okay.
With the bonuses.
Awesome. So that is 8. What did you get for Sophanox, Allegra?
I have not rolled yet. I will do so now. All right. That's a 3 +1, I suppose, for Arwen is 4.
Okay, so +9. So you get a 13 and you get an 8. How are you guys kind of tackling this? What are you each looking for? Because I imagine, Everett, unless you've taken to the skies, your perspective is on the ground and Sophanox is above, right?
Yeah, I haven't activated my soaring ring yet. I think I'm walking alongside Majuin and sort of, again, looking to see if there's potential for individuals to be flanking us.
Right.
Because I'm further in the back.
I think with an 8 there, you don't seem to see anything coming your way, or kind of, you don't feel any furtive movement. The hairs on the back of your neck, while they are still kind of rising, if you had a neck, they would rise.
I don't have a neck.
You do not. They would rise, but in this case, you feel relatively secure that you're moving unaccompanied and will be unmolested. For Sophanox, is there anything in particular you want him to look for?
Get a sense of like entrances, exits sort of situation to the place we're approaching, and then also like what level of defense are we looking at? Is it like people who are lined up and ready, waiting for someone to charge, or is it just kind of normal patrols? And if so, like what does that look like?
So as you kind of have Sophanox fly over this canyon, you realize something, that there is, I think with that high of a roll, Sophanox notices something, which is that there seems to be a shimmer in the air within the heart of this canyon, about 1.5 miles from where you are currently. It is a very large shimmer. That is what you glean.
So I think Allegra will report back what Sophanox has reported to her, to the rest of you, and say, it sounds magical to me. A glimmer in the air?
I think you see, so Mott was in the back, right? I think right in front of Mott and kind of staying mostly together are Kieran's squad. How many folks do I have, Zach?
I can turn a card, or you can make you can decide who you have.
Well, I mean, I said I took everybody that in my, I don't know how big the maker squad I had was.
I think for all of you, you each had like 24. That might be a little bit much. Yeah.
Sure.
For a clan
I mean, I
destination.
think at least like 3, like, what was my dude's name? My lieutenant.
Abron.
Abron would be down, and maybe like 3 goons.
Okay.
Or so, and
three red-shirted makers. You got it.
Oh man, and so yeah, these guys are like, they're like when all of the like office clerks had to get thrown to the front lines, kind of things, like, you know, in the World War. So like they are like not. They don't look like soldiers, but they've got, I'm imagining, probably some sweet hardware.
Oh yeah.
So they're just, they got guns basically.
Yeah. Q squad is queued up and ready to go.
Yeah. And so they're kind of keeping in the back, and they're kind of huddled together, and they're happy to let these bigger, meaner looking people walk in front of them.
Root is definitely taking joy in menacing them.
Oh, sure.
100%.
Kieran has his Testament of Sons ready, and he's constantly like looking at the front person and the person in the back and whoever's at the sides, and has a level 4 illusion ready to make everyone look like the Erebus soldiers, just full decked out in the armor and the helmets and everything.
Excellent.
And it'll be apparent, I think. He's not sharing this. He's not like, hey guys, this would be a really great idea if I did this. But it'll be apparent, I think, when that happens, people will know that, like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool. Not just my friend became a bad guy and I need to kill them. That's bad.
Yeah. Excellent. And not only that, I think that Root is looking over at one of the Q squad and just says like, yeah, that looks like it'd set you back a couple of bucks. And yeah, as you kind of move closer to this canyon, what do you guys, let me ask you this, like, how are you approaching the kind of operational area?
I would hope with some amount of stealth. There are quite a
Yes.
lot of us. Do we want to sort of split our forces up and put a scouting party to speed on ahead just a little bit to see what's up if somebody's manning the perimeter?
Well, I think so. Sophanox was looking for that information. What did Sophanox glean about like line of defense? Just couldn't see. Only all we could see is this glimmer, or did he get some sense of like what's the enemy presence look like?
You get no sense of any. All you see is that glimmer. I will say this with your strategic mind. It is very clear that this might be a defensive property.
Okay, so like a barrier boundary of some kind.
Flying V?
Ducks, quack, quack, quack.
Or, the more militaristically sounding
I
wedge
think-
formation.
I think if you would ask Kieran how he would plan this attack, he'd be like, well, easy, I'd go by myself. So he has no idea how to be stealthy with a group or what would be the best strategic thing. So he's staying in front of Mott. That's all he knows.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okris will spear point this shit.
Okay.
They are actually surprising. Oh, wait, no, that's a lie. I was lying. I was going to say, oh, no, they're mildly stealthy.
Okay.
I could probably go on ahead with you, Okris, if you want. I am very stealthy.
I also have invisibility, so I can become incredibly stealthy, but it only works for me.
I have 1 point in stealth. I'm just going to be clear here, folks. This is it's almost just there so I can make the joke, walk softly and carry a big stick.
All right. Who's going first then?
If nobody else does anything, Okris will absolutely just plow forwards.
Okay.
Mott will go with if we can breach this defense area or get it down, or if somebody's out there that's powering it up. I am an assassin, so I can help you silence the people that are outside.
Yeah, I will say Okris is pretty good at breaking stuff, and that might include this barrier.
Yeah, I think Allegra could also help if it is a magical barrier, which it looks like she's good at getting into magically locked things. So if this has a magically locked property, that's something she's intending to try.
Okay. So as you guys are walking forward, okay. Okris, I need you to make me a withstand roll.
Withstand, huh?
Yeah.
Don't like that. I have one skill in that. Is this okay?
This is a challenge 8.
Oh, cute. So I have one skill in that. Can I put a sortilege into that?
Absolutely. You may put a sortilege or a bene.
What kind of bene would it be?
Physicality.
I'll put a sortilege into it.
Okay. Roll your die. Your dice.
That is
I
a
should say.
7 and a 9 on the dice.
Okay. You fight the urge to vomit. As you get closer, you just feel almost like you feel a vice grip in the center of your chest as you realize something very disquieting, which is this is wherever you are heading is the source of your sickness.
I say nothing at all about that.
Okay.
I think Okris has refused to acknowledge anything about this to literally anybody. They aren't used to people.
Yeah. Okay. Kieran, I also need you to make me a perception roll. You are going to have 1 to this venture. Your target is going to be 8.
Okay, I'll spend a Benny. And I get +1. Is this a seeing through deception?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a +2. That's a 5 all day.
Okay, so 5 on the die?
No, 5 all day.
Okay.
3 on the die.
So I will say this. Oh, wait, no. If you have a 3 on the die, that puts you at a 7.
You also
I
get
thought I only had +2.
Yeah.
Well, you have Arwen's perception thing too, which applies to everyone.
Yeah. So
NA plus seeing through plus, okay, +3. So then I should have 6.
Okay. So I will say that this is a mixed success. As you are kind of moving forward, there is something it's almost like a mirage. It's kind of like when you see something refracting light and forming a structure. And I will say this is there's some reason you realize there's probably a reason why you can see this and you don't know why. You would have to kind of like spend some time like thinking about it.
So, I mean, I wanted to stay as much with the rest of all the NPCs basically as possible, but I'm in this now.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to use my Seam Ripper to identify what this is.
Okay. So describe that ability for me.
Yeah, so I pull out of my pocket just a tiny, seam ripper, just like a little short tool, and I kind of dig into reality and just pull into it. And I learn, let's see. Yeah. This is what I used last time to get the location of Ordo Rim.
Okay. So does that have a depletion roll, or is it?
Learning what this is has no depletion roll on it. It's up to level 5.
Okay. There is this kind of deceptive illusion around this area that has a dark facet to it. And you realize that part of the reason that you can see this is because you can kind of like detect it is because you are 1/3 blind. Take that information and do with it as you will.
Oh my. Yeah, so he's kind of got this seam ripper kind of caught in the thing as he's gleaning what it is. And if it's below level 7, he's going to disable it. He's going to rip it out. And this I do roll a depletion for.
It is not level 7.
Is it below?
It is not below level 7.
Okay. So I try, and I think it kind of falls out of my hand a little bit. Like the force of trying to break it, like jolted me.
I think Allegra is going to stand back and kind of watch you do this. And as she's watching, she's kind of analyzing this structure, this rip, this illusion. And kind of as she folds her hands together and like looks at it and casts a very analytic gaze, she's going to cast Styzen's Knock, which is a beta spell, advanced spell. It is level 5 plus 1 die. A target within sight is opened. Doors are flung wide, locks are broken, shackles are bent open. Color is red. And she's going to cast this at the barrier and sees if it forces this thing to open.
Okay. So your venture starts at 6 because the card on the path augments red. You need to get 2 on both dice.
Okay. And that's going to be... That's an 8 on one and a 6 on the other.
I will say you are not opening something. But I will say what it does is basically this spell bounces off kind of like what is ostensibly an illusion magic. By the way, what is the range on that spell?
It's just within sight.
Okay, within sight.
So we can be a little further back from it.
So here's the thing: is you do not see it. Just I think because the magic is working, it's not a barrier. What it is it's basically you see it kind of shimmer into existence momentarily. You see a massive humanoid form on its hands and knees. And I would like you to make an intellect roll. With that, you may add 3 to your venture.
Can we all see that?
Yes, you can all see it.
So that's a 4. So plus 3, 7.
Okay. There is a thought here, which is that I think that as you see your magic unaccustomed to working, you kind of close your eyes and kind of like blink rapidly in kind of surprise, and you realize that it's almost like a kinematograph, where basically as it kind of flickers past a shutter, it's like it's animated. You realize it's when you close your eyes that you can get it, when you can see this thing.
Interesting.
Kieran takes an object of power out that he just received, the red vizard, and takes off his black goggles, his goggles of midnight, and puts this red vizard, this gold and red mask that covers their upper face, and this is covering his eyes entirely. I can see magical auras, recognize object of power, active spells, and so on.
You see a Colossus outlined in black, dark magic. It is on its hands and knees, and there are cracks and rents and scars carved into its form that interrupt the aura as you are kind of gazing at it.
I was just going to ask a question. There's a second part to the spell that I had cast previously, the Styzen's Knock, which is if I actually had cast that on a creature, if cast on an armored target, the armor flies off. If cast on an unarmored creature, they will be knocked prone and probably vomit, losing their next action. I don't know how that applies here, but
okay.
Interesting twist.
I will say this. Whatever was protecting this thing has been sheared off. And what is this unarmored, what was the effect for an unarmored target?
Knocked prone and probably vomit, losing their next action.
So here's the thing. This is a 7-story tall structure. It is technically not alive. It is technically not dead. I am going to turn a card.
I can fix that.
We have Alethea again. The Lost Star. It enhances gray and it diminishes indigo. Good or bad luck, great distance, great age, great value. We gaze into the night sky and we see the stars shining back down on us. We wonder what they really are, but that's a secret for another time. Stars represent a higher world where everything is magnified. Everything having to do with these stars is far greater than it would be in our world. Love burns brighter, gems sparkle more beautifully, and children sing more sweetly. At the same time, disasters are more calamitous, anger seethes more deeply, and armies wage war for longer. Let me take a look at this. Something needed is a very long distance away. An important NPC is very old. A treasure or work of art is very valuable. Something that was going to happen anyways happens in a much larger way. A rain shower becomes a torrential downpour. A raid by enemies is an invasion. A bit of success in gambling turns into a huge windfall.
You said this thing isn't technically alive, so it's an object.
Yes. I don't think that this would apply. Because basically what this creature is not alive. It is essentially it has been repurposed. Let me take a look one last time.
Well, if it helps, so the actual language in the spell is cast on an armored target, the armor flies off. If cast on an unarmored creature, they were knocked prone, and then the other effects happen.
All right. So I'm going to say an armored target. An armored creature. I'm sorry guys, this is really sticking me. But I am going to go ahead and make a judgment call and call this a despair. I am going to do a GM shift, which is the PC's failure has far greater implications than they realized initially. A minor injury turns into a terrible affliction. something the PC needs is much farther away than they thought. And I think that is what basically you realize as you pull with this spell and you try to intensely move and pull something off of it. I think that the sheer magnitude of the spellcraft here, I think disarms you. It really kind of takes you aback as this thing, as I think unfortunately I have to rule this thing is just too massive to be knocked down by a beta spell.
Interesting. I wasn't gonna do this now, but my new spell says nothing about size and does include objects in what it can do. Is this an object?
Very important question, Zach.
What do you intend?
It's very specifically worded as either creatures that I choose or objects that I choose. That can be...
I would say this is an object. It is a very large object.
The spell says nothing about weight or size.
Okay.
It just says objects or individuals of my choice. And this is not a beta spell.
Okay.
I'm going to, I think Mott seeing this happen to Allegra and like being a little freaked out himself at the sheer size of this Colossus, turns to Kieran and Okris and Allegra and just their mask reflecting, I think, a mixture of all of your incredulity. Just goes, whatever you do, don't look. And like sort of on his hands and knees, flies up using the soaring ring, just straight shot up as high as he can get in measure with the Colossus. And as he's doing that, there is a purplish void that's starting to emanate around him that's getting brighter and brighter. And yet Mott in the center of it is glowing darker and darker. And I was not expecting to want to pop this off right here, but I guess I'm going to give it legitimately everything I have so we can get past this motherfucker. And I cast Kaleidoscope Void.
So I'm going to do a GM thing as a favor. What I would like you to do is I would like you to make a intellect roll for me.
Yes, I can do that.
As you
can
are
I pop a
about,
Bene into that?
You may. I'm going to do this as a favor. You are in the middle of casting this spell. It is going to still cost the sorcery, regardless of what happens. Okay.
That's with the Bene, 7? I don't know what the venture was.
That Colossus has been repurposed into a facility.
Oh, shit.
Do we care?
Wait. Wait. But you said it's also an object.
Because it's been repurposed into architecture.
So
what happens to
all
the
the-
living
What happens
people?
to the people inside if I do this?
that sounds like not our problem.
It doesn't.
Are Denos in there?
Don't listen
probably.
to Okris. Don't listen to Okris here.
Guys, this is too important. This is kind of like, this is do or die time. This is in character. You begin hearing the squawking of Maduin. What does Everett do? Be as honest as possible, but this is going to have an effect. This is going to have a repercussion. You can do this
Here's
with
what
whatever
I'm
you
gonna
want.
say. If I was able to pass that intellect roll and understand that this was a facility, can I pinpoint? Because this spell does a number of things, not just hurling people into the void. Everyone that's in that facility that is in range, which is a very long range, everyone is about to be incapacitated.
Okay.
Which could be helpful to us. So what I'm going to say specifically, let me vocalize the spell now that I can scroll because Google Docs just short-circuited on me back there. Everyone, including myself, gazes into this portal that I create, which is why Mott told y'all not to look. Everyone in there is going to become incapacitated and suffer 1 anguish.
Okay.
Anyone that's by a window, Zach, I will let you decide how many people that is. And if I can see anyone patrolling on this Colossus in this facility, I will pull 3 of them that I think are at key locations into the void.
Okay. So here's the thing, is you saw this thing shudder and shimmer. Only the people that have cast spells at it understand that you have to kind of close your eyes to see the full thing. You are kind of, are you doing this half blind, or are you kind of like, because it seems like you're kind of chasing after this this vision as you see it. I'm gonna be a little bit of a stickler here, just because this is a big move.
As an empath, I have something that's a little bit interesting. I can see through some of this.
Right. Okay.
Nope, not my forte. Yeah, I also have an ephemera that can help me resist spells or effects. If this is an illusion spell, I can maybe utilize that to see through it.
Yeah. Okay.
Done. I'll check that off the list.
So I am going to. So what you do is this structure is massive. You see 2 squads. You see basically. I will say this: as you kind of see through this illusion, the structure, the Colossus, is hissing smoke in parts of rents and gashes, and what would have been mortal wounds on this creature seem to be issuing forth from its trunk area. The arms and legs are incredibly thick. They're basically like 4 towers. The calves seem to have been kind of cut off at the ankles, forming these kind of makeshift, almost like adobe-like structures in which you can see several windows. There are also lined windows that you can see carved out of the towers that have been formed out of the arms, as well as of the quads, the tops of the legs. I will say that what you see is you see a squad of these Arabast on one of the towers. You also see one by the farthest leg. This is what you see. I need to turn a card for Kaleidoscope Void.
I also need to roll for it.
Yeah.
If you want to see how hard I can hit everybody, it is with an additional +2 dice.
Okay, please do that. And it is a level 10 spell?
Yep, sure is.
Okay.
I'm going to do this one at a time because I only have 2 dice up.
Okay.
That's a 9 on the dice. That's the first roll.
Okay.
The second roll is a 7 on the dice.
Okay.
And the third one is a 5.
Okay. Whew.
So 9, 7, 5.
Okay. So that's 19. I just turned the card Eternal Mountain, which is
Shut up.
Yeah,
Shut up.
It strengthens green and it weakens pale.
I just did a green spell.
Right. So now it's 20. Its family is visions, swans, blades, and water.
Shut up.
So 21. Meanings: unchanging, solitude, memory, eternal long life. The mountain stands alone and unchanging. It always has, and it always will. Some find this compelling, others terrifying. The mountain sees all and never forgets what it has seen. Eternal Mountain is the location card of the Visions family. I think this definitely qualifies.
Get Monty Cook.
A challenge that lies ahead is insurmountable. Conversely, if one is on the defense, one can weather any storm, any assault, or any ill fate. Eternal Mountain, in general, predicts a long life, but it can also suggest that one should move forward alone, particularly to better reflect on the past. A structure or object remains strong and intact. An NPC of great age becomes involved. An NPC will not be changed. Someone remembers something important. The PC recalls an important fact. This might be new information to the player. An NPC ally pledges eternal fidelity. Despair, something the PC would like to destroy or overcome, remains inviolable. The PC is left all alone by their friends. We all hope and dread to reach the eternal mountain one day. Okay.
How the fuck is that so relevant? No. Like where's Monty Cook located? Where is that? Where is he? Where is he?
The Pacific Northwest in the middle of his wizard's seclusium.
Yeah, in the middle of like what? Like fucking Camelot or something?
Or like Alan Wake or something.
Yeah.
So
What the fuck?
I will tell you this.
That's not a cold read.
Well, this spell can't destroy the facility. It can target those inside of it in range.
Yeah.
But you can't get that specific. That's not.
I know, it's wild. And the fact that
cold reads work.
the fact that it's also the same color as my spell and in my family, get fucked.
That is the game telling us, I'm sorry, you tried very hard to penetrate this thing, but no.
So
but get fucked.
So
oh wow.
So what is? I will tell you this. With a 21. Let's see. How is that going to work? So
what it does specifically is anybody that's in range that can see this portal. So I'm just flavoring interpretation of anyone that's by the windows or the outer structure can see this void that I'm making. And and in addition to that, they all get one anguish. Everybody, it's there's no number cap on that. It's just everybody in the range. And sorry, what?
No, I'm waiting.
No, Hopper was
bonus. Do you get a bonus? No, you get a bonus when despair happens.
Yes, I do. That's different.
Gets like 8,000.
Yeah, I might actually get a bunch of enhancements from this, but that depends on what Zach's gonna say. And then in addition to that, I can take 3 objects or 3 individuals and hurl them into the void.
So here's the thing, so what I will do is if you would like to kind of complete that part of the spell, I will choose at random since you cannot see into the facility.
Ah, perfect. Well, I mean, you said that the sorcery points popped off. I'm down to 1 sorcery point, baby.
Okay. Would you like me to turn those cards?
I mean, no, but
My thing about it is, in the fiction of this universe, that is what matters to me. Would Everett do this?
I think based on everything that happened, in order to not be meta-y and fair, I think the second Mott realized it was a facility, I think he made the mental calculation of knowing how this works. If no matter what he can see, because it doesn't matter what he can see for the spell to pop off, if a number of individuals do see it, they do become incapacitated.
Okay. So I will tell you this then. If you are,
in terms of the anguish, there's no other special thing.
Are you choosing not to hurl 3 people into the void?
Well, I'd asked if there are key individuals that I can see that are certain I can't see them.
You can only see these Arabast on either these squads of 8 on either side.
I'll take the anguish. Because I do have to choose. That's part of the spell. So if I can't see, then I can't choose them. If you want to do a GM shift and just decide that a bunch pop off into the void, I'm not going to be mad about it. But I definitely think the anguish is a huge boost.
Okay. And you said they were all incapacitated. How, in what way?
It's just with they all have an anguish, and that can't be reduced until their damage is healed.
Okay.
So that's whenever we're done with them.
Okay. I am going to turn 1 card.
The facet is teleportation, if that matters.
Yeah. I'm going to turn a card.
Yep.
The Relentless Rumor. Endless, half-truths, incessant drives, ruthlessness. It accentuates green.
Oh, Jesus.
And it diminishes pale. Secrets, ravens, books, and flame. There is never real truth in whispered rumors. Searching for authenticity amid the clandestine. Furtive words of a rumor is a fruitless task, and yet still we try, we listen. Despite the lack of complete veracity, though, this rumor is relentless. It cannot die, and a living rumor is one not just told and told again, but believed and believed again. Addiction and relentless drives are a part of this. Needs and compulsions are strong motivators, and they never stop pushing. She didn't want to hear what they had to say, but she couldn't stop herself from listening. So, you complete this. You fire off you have a very strong feeling that every creature in that facility suffered anguish as a result of your action. You feel this wave of psychic power coming out to meet you, and I need you to make a resistance roll.
Yes, I also take this anguish. It's part of the spell because it's so fucking powerful.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you as I do this because that is also related to despair.
Mm-hmm.
How many enhancements do I get from that? Because I have my Darkling necklace gives me random enhancements that I can use.
Okay. So I need to check real quick
For every despair.
my journal operation.
9 on the dice.
Okay, let me check something.
And I also have, let me just double check if I have a +1 to just regular resistance.
Just do a little quick math. Just 150 extra dice.
So
Let's see here.
So no,
That's why I was asking. You just choose the number, and I will accept that number.
No, I actually have to count my notes as to how many people you just hurt.
Guys, we're so stealthy. We're so good at stealth.
Hey, in my defense, I didn't realize it was a facility at the time. I just thought it was an object in our way.
So 16 for the squads outside. Inside are 6 and let me see, 7.
Oh my good God.
11.
Wait.
You get 27 enhancements.
What? So that goes into my accuracy, my movement, or my sortilege. So things are about to get real fun. Say that again. How many enhancements?
27.
27.
Okris, you feel an ending.
It's actually, so I haven't even used the 3 from
Did somebody just
last
die?
time.
Yeah.
So that's 30 enhancements that I have.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
Is there a reason why we're not trying to metagame question? Is there a reason we're not trying to murder everybody in this building?
Ostensibly
Ooh.
because Ardeno is in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one of them, and also one of them might be Majuin's brother,
Yes.
because he was taken.
Okris question. Is there a
Well,
reason why we're trying to murder
Hey, we
everybody?
can't control you.
Not to mention the fact that the Arabast, well, we don't know this, but the fact that the Arabast are not all doing this at their own volition,
Yep.
too. Which means they don't necessarily deserve to die for this.
Well, that's why I love this spell, is that I just gave them anguish, which will affect maybe some spell work on their part. Okay.
I will tell you this. There is a frenzy of motion. One of which is the first thing is you hear Root to the left of you, Okris, say, "Holy cats!" And the next thing that happens is Arwen shouts, "No!" The next thing that happens after that is that Majuin begins squawking. So, and that is when you hear the sound of buzzing as the squads on the either kind of post, either tower, begin attempting to locate the source of the damage.
Mott flies down. Not an object. Not an object. It's not an object. And it very rapidly is just, I think we found the actual place.
Okay. We are moving into action mode now. So, oh my god, guys.
Jesus. In my defense, I was not expecting that.
Try to paint a word picture for everybody.
Well, there's now
and I
just a
take it too
glowing-
far.
There's literally
You
a
paint a
color
word
from
picture and we're like, bonk.
Just kill it.
There's literally a color from outer space just hovering now in the air.
As one does.
Okay.
Just don't look at it. Don't look at it.
So-
Don't think about it.
Okay. So we are moving into action mode. So I need to change the music right quick.
I also used one abrogation ephemera, so I'm going to cross that out.
So Zach,
Yes.
just out of curiosity, that whole building, does that have a rating if I want, or like a hit points? If I just want to destroy the building in one go? Is it a lot?
I will say this. Honestly, how do you give a rating to the carcass of a felled god?
Jesus, what have I done?
This is a philosophical question for which I would be delighted to step in.
Has anyone ever read a Max Gladstone book?
Well, I will say I am the secret that I'm looking to use to pump certain other things is definitely called divine ability. So come at me, bro.
I will tell you this.
Woohoo!
If you want to destroy the facility regardless of the lives that are inside of it, you are going to need to hit a 17. There's no other way.
Oh, cool. All right, cool. Let's do that. You guys literally watch Okris run for, like, unless somebody stops me, Okris is going to just charge right through this aura illusion. And just as they reach up over their shoulder and grab this enkindled sledgehammer, and is charging right at that whole ass building.
Oh, well, so I'll throw this to you, Zach. Does Arwen have a sense that that's what's, well, I guess the question, would Arwen have picked up that that's Okris's intention here? Because if Arwen knows that Ardeno is inside, I feel like she would try to stop Okris.
Ooh, okay.
Allegra or Arwen?
No, Arwen, because Arwen, is the one who...
Arwen will move to try to intercept Okris.
Good luck.
Okris, if you would like to hit the hammer, if you would like to drop the hammer on this facility, go ahead.
You want me to bring the hammer down?
I would like to drop the hammer on this facility.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just go ahead and pump up. So here's the question: can I target this using impermanence of objects, or would it make more sense to do leech reality here?
I will say this: either or, which makes sense.
Yo, I'm just gonna go ahead and pump impermanence of object to level 17.
Okay.
Using divine ability, because I can just hit that number.
Okay, so this is what's going to happen. I am going to describe exactly what transpires. The facility falls. The carcass of this downed giant begins to crumble, except for the trunk, which remains suspended in air. You feel a violent sickness as you feel what the source of your sickness was, which was there is a hole in the actuality that has been punched in the middle of this facility.
Everybody drink!
He said it. He said the thing.
There's a hole in the world.
So here's the thing. You collapse onto your knees as you feel the hole get larger and larger. It's like a supernova in reverse as the dark begins to seep out of this aperture in reality. Kieran, I will tell you that nothing feels right about this. You realize this is going to get really bad really quickly. What do you do?
Kieran's thinking about fighting squads of dudes, and now is I think staring at and trying to not look at the purple void.
Oh, it's gonna close soon.
Next to the other hole. And in fact, I think this is exactly what he's going to do. He's going to spend 5 sorcery to use his Forte ability, Time to Ponder.
Okay.
I mentally step outside of time. While outside of time, I cannot affect anything nor move, but I can look around 360 degrees. Mostly I can think about whatever I wish and rest my mind. So Kieran's going to stop and think about this.
So while that thinking is happening, there is because we did end up using impermanence of objects. So technically, a random ephemera item of your choice appears on my person of no level greater than half the level of this ability, which is so no greater than level 8.5. So round it up.
So I will pull that card, but I need to resolve Kieran's
Cool.
action. By the way, this the card I draw in response to impermanence of objects is the Forbidden Game, which accentuates blue and diminishes red. The temptation to partake in the game is strong, but you know you shouldn't. It's dangerous, it's forbidden far more than it seems. It may appear to be a simple diversion, a pastime, but it is so much deeper, so much more engrossing, and so much more addicting. Some have lost their very souls to its intricacies. It's not just that people want to win, although that's a part of it. It's the game's complexities that draw them in. Every move is a colossal undertaking. The game is more intricate than the real world that it simulates. That's the impossible thing. The game is bigger on the inside than the outside. It's bigger than the world in which it is played. There is a threat here, but it is one that can be overcome with cleverness and strategy. This cleverness needs to take into account the balance of all involved factors, which can be daunting, as sometimes those factors are difficult to see. The game isn't like life. It's better, it's more realistic, and that is the moment where you take time to ponder. Kieran, there is something that has been, I think that has been gnawing at you as you began this operation, which is what the Spider Prince told you, that you have to be careful of this power. Power from the dark has consequences. It has unforeseen kind of devastating repercussions. You are seeing one now. What else are you thinking about?
He's thinking about how to contain it, delay it, stop it. He's thinking about what might happen if this thing continues to grow, how much more of Satyrine will be gone, in addition to, Upper Tabors was his home and it's gone now.
Make me an intellect roll. I will give you 2 to this venture.
You got it, dude. Intellect. I have 1 more to spend. I will spend it. Ooh, 9 on the dice. So that's 12.
If you had to give a gray thought, a gray term for this, the thing that would occur to you is the utterly inane idea of physics of the gray. The idea of a quantum singularity, a black hole that opens and gets larger and consumes more and more and more. Whatever chain reaction your magic has caused has created a devouring aperture in this world that will consume maybe not just Upper Taverswood, but several more districts. As far as you can tell, there is only one way to undo what has been set into motion. You have that ability.
All right. Kieran knows still takes a minute. And I think this is hours.
You have all the time in the actuality.
And is meditating and thinking about this and focusing and of what he'll say and do when this happens. And as he comes out of this, he'll spend the 9 sorcery to reverse time for 3 rounds.
Okay.
So does that mean I don't spend those points?
All of you return to the state you were before Everett cast Kaleidoscopic Void.
Did we go? How far back did we go? Did we go before before Allegra tried to knock?
You go back 3 rounds.
So we started action mode after the knock.
Oh yeah, was it the knock that started action mode? I guess was the question. Was it before or after?
I think it was it was the void that started action mode.
Yeah, that's.
I was gonna say you didn't declare action mode until after I did Kaleidoscopic Void.
Guys, I am trying not to metagame this. I'm not trying to railroad you. This is the consequences. We can play those out, and I apologize. I just want to make sure that
Kaleidoscope
this.
Void, sorry.
Yeah, I
No,
just want to
let's-
make sure
let's
this
do-
feels valid.
We can turn back time. Let's do that. I just dumped 12 fucking points.
We're save scumming right now.
Yeah, it's all of these people gotten.
Well, they really just let you kill like any NPC. No, I'm restarting. This is terrible.
So did I cast the spell or not?
You did not.
But-
Yeah. What's up?
I'm confused because you didn't declare action mode until after I cast Kaleidoscope Void.
Right.
Is that true?
Um.
Well, then the only thing that happened was
Yeah, I
Kaleidoscope
think.
did something.
happens.
You know what? I think that makes sense. I will say the Kaleidoscope Void still happened, but what was it? I will say impermanence of objects did not.
Yeah, so in reverse order, you see this body of a dead god reassemble itself as this shattering wave of force gets unleashed by Okra swinging their hammer at it and then they run backwards.
Only Kieran sees this. by the
Only
way.
you see this, and yeah, re-slinging the hammer, dodging around Arwen, and then all the way back to the beginning, and then we come back to right about Mott being like, no object, no
It's not an object. Yeah, and Chad, if I'm wrong about that, because a whole lot of shit happened, feel free to call me out. But I think that up until then we hadn't done anything that warranted action mode.
I believe action mode happened immediately after because action mode was triggered by the void occurring.
Okay.
So that means I did what I did, you did what you did, but
Got it.
we didn't have.
But I get my sweet fucking 12. Wait, no, it's more than 12. It's 15 points back. And I'm not bleeding out.
So I still have 30 enhancements.
Oh, yes, you do. I was gonna say, I would recommend using them fairly quickly because you're
Oh,
about
I
to
was gonna-
have a target-rich environment.
I was gonna say for flavor, I think as Mott comes back down, let's say we're now not an object. It's not an object. He is glowing with purple, radiant energy. All around him there are just like gaping skeletal maws, like all of that power that normally radiates around him whenever he casts a spell. It just seems to be so much more enhanced, and his eyes that are normally completely dark sockets, somewhere deep within their black recesses, there is a golden light that is just blazing out of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So couple things need to happen. One,
I'm about to break a building.
you're about to break a building. Kieran, you know for a fact that you, having worked alone all this time, need to get these people on your side. You need to have them see what you see in order to prevent what is about to happen.
I don't think he has a lot of magical resources or skills to do this here. So I think you just hear him yell, "Stop! Don't touch it!"
You see that panic reflected immediately on Mott's mask.
Why? Okris is literally turning as they're walking away from you.
There's something inside. It's dangerous, unstable.
And
Kieran,
What did you see?
Kieran, I have to point out something, which is that you saw the potential end of much of Satyrine in this reversal. I need you to take one anguish, as you have suffered kind of like this. You have seen the end and managed to
31
withstand.
enhancements. I feel like the like Tootsie Pop owl. It's just like one.
Yeah,
Two.
no, that absolutely makes sense. The Kieran's entire motivation is, saving his home, and it's one thing to contemplate the void, and it's another to like see it happening. So yeah, he's fucked up.
Mott believes you because he feels that additional surge of power radiating like out of you into him.
Mm.
Would Allegra have gotten a sense that there are timey-wimey shenanigans happening? Like, she probably wouldn't remember what just happened, but does she feel like a disturbance in time energy such that she could put it together that, like, Kieran just experienced something different?
You will only have a few seconds to make such an assessment, but I will say this. You saw Kieran von Milas go from completely cool, calm, and collected to being drained, flushed, and looking incredibly terrified. I would even, I know that you're a gray-haired gentleman. The hood is
this
up.
is daytime?
Yeah.
Yeah, his face
Completely mummy wrapped. So, but what you see over that is this red visage. So, like, you see a dude in a black leather coat with like a handkerchief over his face, going ah. Yeah, it's very cool.
I will tell you this. If you had any non white hair before, it's gone now. It's all shock white. Yeah.
Somebody better start talking fast, because Okris knows that whatever's in there is whatever's making them sick, even though you guys don't know that. So they are gonna do what they do.
So yeah, dangerous, unstable, and Kieran says, "The actuality is at stake."
From what?
Allegra reiterates her question. What did you see?
And a hole in the world.
And on that note, we're gonna take a 10-minute break.
You bastard.
How dare.
This is serious. The whole of actuality could be at stake. Let's make a pun.
The whole of the actuality.
Oh, shush.
No.
We lose like all of our subscribers from
Everybody
that
take another anguish.
Everybody.
Guys, we're gonna. So that is my question. Is we are moving once again into action mode. I am going to
Once again the same action mode though.
Yeah. So let me put on some combat music, as I am pretty sure that the Arabast are not coming out to make friends. What is everybody doing? I think at this point we pick up with Kieran stopping Okris, having completed their action. I'm going to say that's the start of the round. Who wants to go next?
I'd love to down a taste of alacrity.
Okay.
It's my other ephemera that gives me 2 actions during a round.
I'm going to cast Crescendo while that's going on,
Okay.
which affects everybody around us.
Hell yeah, it does.
Since I will say that, like, again, nobody convinced Okris not to go. I don't even know what the proper phrase is. Disintegrate, annihilate, destroy, and functionally stop the timeline of that dead god.
Mhm.
But yeah, Okris is now going to deal with the little soldiers first, I guess. And if anybody else wants to come along for the ride, they have the social skills of a fucking drunk pitbull. So
Pitbulls are very personable. What are you talking about?
yeah, but like, just imagine just like adorable and flopping all over the place and likely to chew the shit out of a couch.
Okay. So in that case, tell me what your Taste of Alacrity does. Tell me what Crescendo
yes.
does.
My Taste of Alacrity does, it's a level 4, it's a clear elixir. The next time I enter action mode, I will start my first round with 2 actions due to my eager readiness.
Excellent. Okay.
Would that count for this round or my next turn?
I am gonna say that this would need to be your action for this round. So your
Okay,
next,
so the next one I'll have 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I will allow you to move, however.
I'm gonna take off again. I think I might fly, but I'm not gonna move any further. I'm just gonna like hover in readiness pose.
Okay. So in that case, what I am also going to do, let me paint the kind of like the scene for you here. You guys are in the middle of this kind of descent into the center of this crater. You are probably a medium, kind of a short distance away from this Colossus. I think that you had to move that much closer in order to do the things that you guys did. So with that being the case, these things are descending down the tower, rushing to meet you, and that is what you can see. So let me go ahead and say then, Crescendo, define that for me.
So I'm actually going to change my response to that because I didn't realize we were within short range of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because that changes stuff. Okris is going to run as far away towards the enemy and as far away from their allies as they can.
Okay. Cool.
And with a move action.
Okay.
And then cast Thanatos Burst.
Okay. Describe for me what that does.
I unleash a deep resonant sonic wave that rolls like deafening thunder away from me. Although it can be heard for 1 mile or more, those within short range of except me suffer damage equal to 2 less than the level of this spell. I have a number of things that affect that. I can list them all out, but it's a lot of them. It does a shitload of damage when I pump it with the vital aspect because I have the red road, because I have a couple other 1 forte ability and 2 secrets.
Okay.
It's going to end up dealing 14 damage to everything within short range of me.
Okay. So 14 damage. What is the do you need to roll for that?
It's let's see. I have there is 2 dice for it. I have +2 on the venture.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's the level again?
It is level 8 if I don't pump it.
Okay, let me double check. You just need to, I will tell you this, with their level being reduced by 1, or their defenses reduced by 1 by the anguish, you do successfully hit. So you said you did 16 points of damage?
That is 14 points of damage, but I can do I'm little bit meta question. We fought these things before. Do I remember how much it took to kill?
I will say it took you 2 strikes.
Of what?
Of I believe you did use Thanatos Burst before.
No, I used Dark Noise before, which is 11 damage and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it still took 2 strikes for them.
Cool. I'll just pump that. I'm gonna use the same amount of. Yeah, I'll pump that up by 4 levels, so it does 18 points of damage.
Okay. So as you rush out to meet this squad of Erebas, there's roughly 8 of them, and you tear through them like tissue paper. Basically, as you cast this horrifying spell, describe this for me, as I think only 1 member of this squad remains standing after you do 18 points of damage to it.
Oh, I ran all the way away. Of that squad, not my squad. Yeah, so you literally watch Okris just kind of like look at Kieran like he's kind of having a panic attack, and then just kind of just goes, fucking, this is like, there's clearly a look of what you can see on their scar, like the scarring on their face above, but like it's clearly like, why the fuck am I saddled with these people? And then just books it out, and then grabs the sledgehammer off their back, swings it around, slams it onto the ground, and it's like watching the air ripple as it blasts outwards. And I think the closer people probably get turned into kind of a applesauce texture.
Oof.
And like the maybe like the one that's standing probably gets protected from that by the apple puttification of their ally. And yeah, that's me. That's my turn.
Excellent. You do this damage. I think Kieran and Everett have gone. Allegra, what is your action?
So Allegra, I think, well, first, I don't know where exactly this fits in the timeline, but I think Allegra will say, or vocalize at least, like having kind of twigged, or the other shoe having dropped as to Kieran's haunted face. I think she'll say, whatever you were going to do, don't do it, do something else. And that's like what she'll say. I think for her action, though, she's going to, I think her goal is get Ardeno out. So I think to start dealing with that, she's going to cast Vanish from Sight. This is a general spell, level 6, with a flourish, and if I choose a puff of smoke approximately equal in size to me, I disappear, becoming invisible. There is a check on this each round.
Excellent. Okay. You are now invisible. I will tell you now it is the enemy's go. The very first thing...
So we need card pulls for those
We
spells.
do need card pulls. Very good. So this is actually really important because this is going to change something.
Quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
With the object of power depletion, if I have a 0 to 2 and 0 to 2, I'm rolling twice, and any failure is it good or bad for
You
me?
need a double failure.
You need
for
a
it to
double
fail.
failure to lose the
then
ability.
Also, I have that doohickey
The thingy that made it actually 3 failures instead.
All right, that's a 7 on one of the dice. The other dice went off the table, but it's a 7 on one of them. So
Cool. You're good. In that case, the very first thing that happens is I pulled the Imperator card, which is the sovereign of vision, swans, blades, and water. Wisdom in war, turning points, deciding factors. Sometimes conflict is needed, and the Imperator believes that keeping a level head and using intellect and wisdom rather than rage or brute force paves the path to victory. Of course, not every crisis point lies within a literal battle. Some conflicts take other forms, stressful situations where some are prone to make rash decisions based on emotion, but not the Imperator. Follow his example. The Imperator is the sovereign of the Visions family. He is a leader, an advisor, a teacher, and a mighty warrior. This card represents the crucial turning point, the deciding factor that brings victory or defeat. The crisis point. Generally, the interpretation is that when the card is turned, the person in question must make a very important decision upon which everything that follows now rests. The Imperator also suggests that this choice should be made with consideration and care, not emotion or haste. Game narrative. Events come to an head. Something happens to alter the course of future events, and it could be for the better or the worse. An NPC makes a wise choice in the midst of stress and conflict. A revelation is made of new deciding factor. So actually, this is interesting because it's a sovereign. I think that what is going to happen is this. I still need to choose what your squad does. So Root goes in following Okris to clean up the last of this squad that has kind of descended. Meanwhile, I think what ends up happening is Arwen seeing the next squad descending upon your position from, I think this one's emerging from the tower around which they were wrapped around a leg. They're kind of approaching you. Arwen throws up a shield. So for all intents and purposes, all of you who are in the main squad group apart from Okris are going to have +1 to your armor for all attacks that transpire or take place. That is the first card I pull. This card is He Shall Lead Us Through the Gates. The storm of war cannot harm us if we follow his command. The next thing that is happening is seeing things coming to a head. The makers are going to band together. Abron is going to start forming a mortar at the head. So basically, essentially forming kind of this launcher of magic. The next thing that is going to happen on top of that, that's all of the squad except for Ethereal. Ethereal is readying and seeming to move her hands in such a way as to pull together a weave. And it is in preparation for anything that might transpire. So that is the actions of the squad. The next thing that happens is the other, as Arwen throws up this shield, the first thing that happens is this squad is going to make a ranged attack at all of you. So I think targeting, Okris has gone out to meet the enemy. You are the one that hurt them the most. Everett. So they are going to fire on you with what appear to be these kind of organic bazookas, while all of half of the squad kind of remains behind them, acting as spotters. So I would like you, Everett, to make a dodge roll. Your your target, let me double check the stat block here, is going to be 6.
Cool. I've got a dodge stat, and you know what? For funsies, can I use a sortilege?
You may.
Why not?
Are you sure you have enough sortilege to waste
I
here?
don't know. Can you remind me of the venture again? I got excited.
The venture is actually going to be 5 because they are affected by anguish. Remember, you are as well.
Yes, I am. But this is a Certes, not
right.
So that is a 7 and an 8.
Okay, so 2 successes were what you needed to compromise the magical nature of their attack. You deftly, it flies past you, these kind of organic, almost like insects being fired at you, these swarms. You bypass them and take a jump. I will say, however, the next thing that happens is the head of the Colossus turns.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You see its eyes begin to light up. I need to draw the second card to see what happens.
Can I also ask, when you're done with that, because part of our squad, what is Majuin doing?
Majuin is... Oh, that is true. Majuin, as you... I think part of this is as you are you bypass this this projectile being fired at you, you look to see that there are other duplicates of you, kind of illusory in nature, flying around you and moving as if to throw them off their game. That is Majuin's ability. So the card that I pulled is the Driver, which is the defender of mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stones. Meanings are impetuous, travel, forward motion, speed, always moving forward. Sometimes there is no other recourse than to simply get away. Escape is often the best option, and the best escape is a quick one. Like a shark, the Driver can never stop moving. She's always racing ahead, always moving forward, making sudden, abrupt turns down new avenues without warning. They say that it's not the destination that's important, it's the trip. Well, if that's true, the Driver does it best, because ultimately she has no destination in mind. It's never the point. The point is speed, motion, and the ability to change one's mind from second to second, and yet to do so fluidly and flawlessly. The Driver is the defender of the Mysteries family. She protects by enabling others to get away. She carries them to safety, always moving forward. Okay, so what ends up happening is the eyes light and flash, and echoing from the head and out of the holes of the trunk, you hear an agonizing scream, as if somebody dying in torment. At that point, the eyes turn down to the ground beneath all of your assembled squad, as a massive cairn of rock pokes through the surface and begins weaving into odd shapes as if to separate the party. So what I'm going to say is that half of you are separated. Okris, Kieran, and I believe the Makers are on one side. On the other side are the rest of the squad. As this kind of barrier gets woven up to separate and keep you from uniting. That is the turn of the facility. The squad has already gone. We're back at the top of the order. Kieran.
So Kieran and the Maker squad, he looks towards the Maker squad. Does it look like this this mortar system they're assembling? Is it still going to be able to use, or do they need a spotter now because of the rocks?
They are going to need to move in order to get a clear shot.
Okay. but they're not in immediate danger right now. And then I'm sort of far. Here's what's going to happen. So I'm going to take my extra moment that I prepared. So I'm going to take 2 actions on my turn. One of them is going to be refreshing a pool.
Okay.
I'm going to get that sorcery back. And then I'm going to, could I make it to Okris in a movement, or is it a little bit further away?
I think you can easily make it that quickly.
So I run over to Okris, and what's it like? Is it dangerous to get through this space, Okris? Is it still like is it hurting? It just happened, and
A
it's over.
spell of silence was cast upon me. It was basically imagine just a putification shockwave.
Great. So
That's a physics term.
Kieran runs up and says, Okris, listen to me, and puts his hand on your shoulder, and moves his hands and undoes his wraps and removes the red visage, and you can see steam and like hissing rising from his skin, and he takes a vex in all of his pools, and you see his eyes are like bulging and crazy, and says, if you destroy this facility, you will end the world. Please don't. And that's his go.
Phrasing.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know what to do. That's really hard.
I believe it is Okris's go now, unless I got the order wrong. No, it's Everett's. That's right.
First off, I'm going to, with the alacrity, I'm going to refresh my sorcery.
Okay.
And first I'm going to take a movement as I fly down to Modwin. Refresh my sorcery before I forget. And snatch him up as I'm flying. And just shout to him as I kind of fly past the puddingification beam and the now rocky crevasse that is dividing a lot of our squad, and just say, if your brother's in there, you stand a better chance of trying to find him while we hold off the advancing party. I think it's only going to get worse as we keep fighting, and well, you can blend in a lot better than we can.
And just kind of nods and assents to this.
I'm gonna sort of drop him and just say, you better survive this.
Okay. So I will say what you are doing. Are you dropping him any place of the body in specific?
When I was flying initially to do the void, did I see a good place for an entrance?
Yes. I will say that there is a rent in the top part of the trunk that is issuing forth smoke. It could be a potential place.
I think I might actually stay with Modwin as backup. As I'm flying past, I'm gonna like give a quick sort of like hand signal to the others, whoever can see it. And you can definitely see Mott flying up to an entrance with Modwin.
Oh, this actually reminds me. Okay, cool. So you are going to fly up to that entrance. I will make you make a perception roll. Go ahead to see if there's anything you can see.
Let's pop more sortilege into that.
Well, only got like two down, 26 to go.
I actually have a question for this, because I technically have an anguish. And sortilege is technically part of qualia.
Yeah, you.
What is happening with that? What do I even?
Yeah, I'm gonna say
this is a GM question. I'm
gonna punish you. You're gonna have only 26 sortilege now. Yes, you have -1 to your sortilege pool. How dare you?
So I should. So that's interesting, because these are enhancements.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to use it for sortilege given the anguish? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, totally.
Okay,
it's just the anguish kind of what it does is it basically introduces -1 to your qualia rolls.
Yes, I'm okay. So just a -1 to the sortilege dice.
Yeah.
I will keep that in mind. It's my rainbow dice.
Okay.
Well, there's a 7 on the non-sortilege dice and technically a 4 on the sortilege dice.
Okay. By the way, every time you roll with sortilege, keep in mind what is magical, because it can cause flux.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, it's this one.
Cool.
It's the rainbow one.
Nice. So on a 7 and a 4, you see that there is smoke issuing as if from a bellows out of this rent in the trunk of this creature. As you kind of look down with a 7, there is a flurry of movement below. There is also apparently just the light of flickering machinery that you can see through this gash in the side of this Titan. So that is what you get on your action.
Perfect. I'll take it. I'm now inside.
You are at
the entrance.
You have flown up to the top. You're gonna have to make a.
Will definitely take that.
Okay. So we will say that you get inside by the next round. Okris, I need you.
Sorry, just one more thing. I was just definitely signaling to everyone so you could see what I was doing, but also that I found an entrance.
Yeah. Okris, in time with that scream of agony, you feel a pang. I need you to make me a resistance roll. You're muted.
Hate that. Gonna put a sortilege roll.
Love
into
you,
that.
buddy. Come on.
That's a 4 and an 8. 8 on the sortilege dice.
Okay.
I don't believe I have. I might. Hold on. Maybe I'm awesome. Am I awesome? I'm awesome. I have 1 to resist, so that's a 9.
Excellent. Okay, so I will say this: as you feel a pang of weakness, and again that urge to be sick in time with the scream, and there is something that you realize, which is that what you are feeling is not you would think it feels like an ending, but different and wrong. It feels like usually when an ending happens, you feel somebody leave and go to the next cycle in the actuality, go to the pale. That second part, that reassuring part, is gone.
It's not a period. It's a delete. It's a backspace.
It is not just it is not a backspace. It is a tear.
Hate that.
By the way, what's this defender doing for mechanically for us?
It gives +1 to everybody. It gives plus on all of their actions. So remember that, and that won't affect your perception roll, Everett. But take 2 if it is the same family as you.
Oh, what is the family again?
Mysteries, rats,
mirrors, and stone.
Kieran and I.
Yeah.
Okay. So Okris, you see Root basically engulf the last Arabast in its garbage form, and it looks at you, and Root looks at you and says, "I got this one. Just go do whatever you gotta do."
Okris just kind of thwaps Kieran's hand off their shoulder and just looks at you and just goes, "On me."
Can Kieran do like a little bit of insight here? Basically, what he wants to know is he gonna have to stop Okris from doing this anyway? Like, what kind of intention did he glean from that?
You gonna roll that?
I guess I will. Here we go. That's a 3.
Okris isn't subtle. I don't know if you've noticed, but the person with the code name the Hammer is about as subtle as a brick to the face, or a hammer to the face. Okris doesn't seem like. I think you see a flicker of emotion, like kind of what would be called strain, I would say. You see a flicker of strain, especially at the timing to that piercing scream. And which is very odd because I think that Kieran's been around Okris enough at this point to know that they don't give much away ever. And pain does not scare them or affect them like that. So there has to be another corollary to that. As to whether or not they plan on destroying the facility, probably not. But also, it's kind of... It's what they do. You're asking them to go against their nature.
If Kieran's echoey monologue was audible to the audience, I'm like, and I thought I had enough problems already.
I wish we had the Good Society mechanic right now because I would give you a monologue token, but
Yeah, I don't think you want to take the time for a monologue right now.
Oh man, I'd love to Good Society this.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I wish there was just a symbol over my face that says buffering. Okris, what are you doing?
Okris is going to kind of glares right into Kieran's buggy, slightly burning eyes, and just and you. I think you notice this is probably something that you notice, that their eyes are not colorless anymore. Their eyes are currently green, which is not normal. And that's contrasted pretty sharply by the red hair that's kind of coming, that's on their head, and the mask is glowing on those thin lines with red light as well. Put your face back on and get on me. And very clearly immediately turns and walks away, making you the phrasing.
Are we still doing phrasing?
I'm 5.
If it's not too much to ask, Okris, are we still doing phrasing?
I'm gonna set you on fire.
Okay.
Probably Kieran. Probably not Bill.
So just to clarify mechanically, are you hoping to carry Kieran?
No. I'm saying get on my 6. It's very clearly on my 6. I am casting Crescendo now.
Okay. So as you do this, the action that Ethereal was taking completes. She weaves together the aggregates of freedom and wind, and your movement speed doubles for both of you.
Oh, sick. Yeah, still casting Crescendo. So, and what this literally sounds like is, you hear the pulse of something. I think you actually hear Okris's pulse. And it as it this kind of low throbbing thumping. It's like when you can hear your pulse in your own ears, but in this case it's somebody else's, which is probably pretty disconcerting for Kieran, but you're weird, so
if I may, the sound is thump 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 thump.
Yeah, it's a little bit abnormal. And so, and this kind of forms a weird beat. And each round, all beings within close range of me, when I first cast a spell, move a bit faster. On rounds 1 and 2, all actions gain +1. On rounds 3 and after, those affected can take 2 actions each round, each with +1. On round 4 and after, all actions gain +2. On round 6 and after, those affected suffer 1 wound per round from the stress of the constant acceleration. Depletion 0-1, check each round.
Okay. So I need to turn another card. Yes. Okay. So this one's going on the Testament. Ooh, this one's no good. This is the Assassin, the Adept of Mysteries, Rats, Mirrors, and Stone. Meanings: finesse, stealth, betrayal, finality. Subtlety is the Assassin's greatest tool. Anyone can kill, but he does it so deftly and so quickly that even the victim doesn't realize they're dead until the assassin is long gone. He often poses as someone harmless or even friendly because betrayal is subtlety's closest sibling. The assassin is the adept of mysteries. His knowledge of the secrets of death is limitless, and his use of skill and finesse would be a thing of beauty if he used them for anything other than murder, but he does not. Dealing death is a magical art all its own. Something significant, a dynasty, a tradition, an organization comes to an end. Something unexpected turns deadly, such as a bottle of wine turning to poison. It can indeed foretell literal death or the threat of death. I know what this card pool means. It isn't germane now.
What are the colors bonuses here?
It's an adept, so it doesn't have any colors.
Nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect the family.
Let me see. It's mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stone. So let me double check my resource. Sorry, guys. A lot of checking of resources going on because the system is bonkers.
We're using the rules.
Yeah. Let's see. Sooth card effects.
Rolls are gross.
Adept. Play another card on the next sun. I forgot about that. The next card. Ooh, actually, this one might be good. The Defender, the Messiah. Visions, swans, blades, and water. Change, salvation, familial love. Many fear change. Others embrace it eagerly. Often, not always, but often. The former live happy and satisfying situations, while the latter do not. In other words, change is a salvation that not everyone needs. The Messiah is the defender of the Visions family. She defends by changing the things that threaten or menace. As a defender, the Messiah is particularly concerned with families and the bonds of love that exist there. This is Arwen. She brings salvation, but at the cost of changing everything in your existence. And we will get to Arwen appropriately. However, it is Allegra's turn. What are you doing?
Well, that is going to have something to do with
we
Arwen,
still need
but-
to move. I still need to move.
Okay, sorry. Where are you guys moving to?
The entrance that Mott pointed out.
Okay, so that basically, I'm going to say with your double move, you're going to have to ascend to the top of this trunk. How are you doing that?
Aggressively?
If you would like to Superman jump, you are more than welcome to try to Superman jump this.
I do not have that kind of mad skill. I don't know. Will movement allow me to climb?
Yes, I will say that you may do that. Give me a physicality roll. If you're using magic to do this, you will probably move faster.
Okay, physicality roll. I'm going to use sortilege so I can save that sweet physicality. Okris assumes that Kieran is perfectly capable of following on his own merits. That is yes. That is a 5 and a 9. A 9 on the sortilege dice.
Okay, easily enough. This is 7 stories, and you scale it. I was gonna say, I think you scale the closest thing, which in my mind, you're by one of the arms. There is kind of a spiraling staircase that goes up it. You don't even bother. You just using your hammer as a python. You begin climbing hand over hand, and you make it to the top of the shoulder.
Kind of picturing like disintegrating handholds as Okris goes.
It's like gargoyles. It's amazing.
I did not think I would hear a gargoyles reference tonight.
Well, what was it? Allegra, back to you.
Right. So this is actually a case where I think the order that we've pulled the last 3 cards is going to determine the action that Allegra takes. So just to refresh, we first pulled the driver card, which was the defender of Allegra's family, and also just spookily confirmed something she was going to do. So we're going to go for that. Allegra is going to book it to the facility to try to rescue Ardeno because she is driven. She has decided to take official action. She's not going to be bound by just strategic thinking, analysis paralysis. So I think in that vein, would you, Zach, permit me to spend a sortilege to extend my vanish from sight spell to Arwen so that she can come with me unseen?
Sure, I'll let you do it.
Cool. All right. So she's going to do that. She's going to look at Arwen and she's going to take Arwen by the hand and say, "We're going to get Ardeno back. Are you coming with me?"
She doesn't even hesitate. The shield goes down as she vanishes from sight.
Cool. So that's going to be full action movement, but the rest of the card pull, subtlety is the assassin's greatest tool, assassin also in Allegra's family. So that's worth keeping in view, that Allegra's seeing death here. She's seeing that there are people who are threatening her lieutenant. She is responsible for keeping both of these lieutenants safe. She has dragged them both. Well, one has been dragged, but she has dragged Arwen here. She is responsible for Arwen. And she's not going to pull any punches anymore.
Excellent. So you are attempting to get her to do to help you in this regard. I'm trying to think of what she would do. While I do that, the makers are going to move the mortar in order to get a clearer shot on the head. I believe that was everybody's round, so now it is the actions of the remaining squad of Erebast are still incoming. I believe you guys didn't do damage to them, right? Right. So they are going to now fire. I think that there's less for them to hit now. They just saw Everett take off with another Erebast. The makers are moving the mortar. Okris is a unstoppable force along with Kieran. I think they're going to turn their they're going to, seeing the mortar move, they're going to attempt to fire on Ethereal, Baob, and on the makers. So I am going to turn a card to see how that goes. Okay. The cat, which is the companion of solitude. Let's see, solitude, curiosity, cleverness, dexterity. Cats see much. They prowl about or simply find a good vantage point and watch and sleep. Should something really catch their eye, however, they move to investigate. Curiosity killed the cat, as the saying goes, and it's true. But cats have 9 lives, and thus they can afford a little curiosity. The cat is the companion of Notion's family. It watches over them and sometimes even protects them. Humans make excellent domesticated companions for cats. So what is going to happen, because I pulled a companion card, duplicates the effects of the previously played card. So in this case, the previously played card was the Messiah. So Ethereal Baob, seeing this, draws the fire of the unit and then very quickly, too quickly, moves behind the cover of the rock that was created by the head. The head is going to move again, following the mortar team. And it is once again, you once again hear an agonizing cry as it looks down at the rock and again throws up a wall between it and the mortar. They are now completely cut off from the rest of the squad. So we are now going to move back to the top of the round. Kieran, I believe you're up.
Kieran kind of uses that cantrip to put his face back and secures the object of power again to keep an eye on any active spells and any magical auras and whatnot, and sees where Okris just got to and long steps there.
Yes. You, I think, without even looking, you know that Kieran is right behind you, Okris, as you hear and your companion is exactly where you intended him to be. I think that brings us back to Everett. I think that, just so you know, they have been, Maduin has been holding an action waiting for you. What do you do?
So I imagine we're going to start infiltrating the facility.
Mm-hmm.
Mott is also going to be holding on to an emotional inversion spell for any Vizsla that they may see. Mott's going to try to hope that any Erebast that they see his presence near Maduin might make it look like they're a part of the facility or they're a part of the team that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But is holding on to one just in case they run into anybody that should stop them to make them a friend. But Mott will be saying that I know you want to look for your brother. I hope that he's in here. But if we can find Rem, we're taking him too.
And as he nods, a illusion forms around his head into the form of one of those oblong helmets. The beak recedes into a vaguely kind of humanish face, keeping still the feathers and the golden skin. And you feel something kind of translose over your form as you get that secondary disguise. We're going
Hell yeah!
Okay, so you are going to have +1 to stealth moves going in here, assuming it is what you anticipate.
Yes, absolutely. I'll take that.
Okay, so are you going to try to move in now through the gouge? What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Okay.
Definitely. I think we're both like giving each other like keep back to back, and let's try to get the people that we're hoping to find in here.
Okay, so I'm going to change the music a bit.
And since the Messiah card is still in play, how many pluses does that give me? It's still in my family.
If it's in your family,
it's visions, right?
Yeah, the Messiah card, I believe, is the defender. So what is going to end up happening is you are going to get +2 to all of your action.
Woo!
So,
all right.
That actually is a good opportunity. As you jump in through this rent into this kind of area, I need you to make me a perception roll to see what it is exactly you see inside this facility.
Okay. And for funsies, why don't we use another sortilege?
Just remember to add 2 to your venture.
Yes.
Plus whatever you, yeah, okay.
Well, one of those 9 with the pluses, and also a 11.
Okay.
On my sortilege dice. So technically a 10 minus the anguish.
Wait a second. What is the number on the die?
7 and a 9. 9
Okay.
is on my my sortilege dice, so I subtracted 1 from the total given the anguish.
Cool. So I'm going to make this, in addition to the 2, you're going to have a third because essentially Maduin is trying to help you.
So another dice.
Yeah, no. This is, you essentially rolled a 12.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I rolled an 11, again, minus with the anguish.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Okay, so what you see is a hissing and spitting network of wires, which seems to be woven through an almost kind of organic webbing within a much larger facility. At the center of which, where would normally be the heart of this massive titan, is a not empty chamber that is hissing with power. In this chamber is only recognizable from their uniform, a field officer of the Army of Satyrine. From the designation, the chevron matching the symbol of the Order of Weavers on their uniform, you recognize that this person is a weaver. And they're in what looks to be a state of semi-disintegration as they are screaming while powered electrical seeming energy seems to invade and kind of surround their form. This chamber is an engine of pain. And what ends, as you are kind of taking in this facility, you notice that there are a few people working, one of whom, these things, as you look at them, are mindless brutes. They seem to be working at tasks. In lieu of teeth, as they grit their jaws, you see a number of chains woven into kind of like this networked, this kind of network of mandibles. And as they move these kind of their hulking forms around the facilities, I think that I need you to roll stealth. Again,
Gotcha.
You are going to have 1 to your venture.
I'm going to have more than that because I have a +2 naturally to stealth, so that's now a +3 plus the other 2 from the card, so that's a +5.
Right. So starting with 5.
I'm not going to use an enhancement for this because the plus is just astronomical as is.
Okay, but you can use a bene if you want to add it.
Sort of. What, you don't want to use one of your 25 remaining sortilege?
28, thank you.
Well, you've used 2 or 3.
I had 31.
Yeah.
Because Kieran took an anguish.
And that's
despair.
And you know what?
Why are you the way that you are?
And not only that, because there's 31 flavors at Baskin Robbins, because we say so, okay?
I'm a fear factory.
Okay. So we have 5 for your starting venture.
Okay. 11.
Okay.
I rolled a 7 on the dice.
All right. As you are moving.
No, 12.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, 12.
I can do math.
Yeah, you're good.
That is how math works.
Thank you.
So with a 12, you and Maduin feel fairly confident that you are not seen. And it is a good thing because you hear a sharp order come to a head, essentially. I think you hear the sound of a very calm voice speaking rather urgently. Prepare the next test subject. We need to hurry quickly if we are to safeguard this facility now. And you see cross into your field of vision Ordo Rem wearing black gloves and a long tailored black suit. He normally kind of stooped and bent by age. He is standing straight, tall, and lean. I need you to make an intellect roll for me.
Oh, yeah, that one I will put a sortilege in and a bene.
Okay.
A bene to break even, in fact, because that is part of my qualia and I have an anguish to it.
Okay.
Oh, boysy. Yeah, I love rolling fairly high. 8 on the regular dice for a 7. Only a 4 on the sortilege dice for a 3.
Okay. There's something familiar about this. You can't put your finger on it. Something about this manner.
Like his manner.
His manner. Yes. And
I've never met Ordo Rem outside of.
You have not. There is something about the kinesthetic movement. As an assassin, as someone who is dealing in martial prowess, you are used to judging people by the way they move their body, and you have seen this before. While you consider this, we are going to rejoin Okris and Kieran outside.
I'd like to say that I'm readying myself to, like, I give a nod to Maduin, and I'm gonna try to intercept him.
Okay. All right. And as I will say this, he is moving towards the chamber as if to throw a lever.
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow.
The other thing I will also say is there seems to be a line of individuals. The next test subject in line is Ardeno.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So, Okris, you are up.
All right. Where's that sweet entrance?
That sweet entrance, there is, I think that you literally just saw Mott disappear down it as you made your way up to the shoulder.
Do I think, does Okris think he could separate the head from the rest of the body without destroying this whole thing?
Perhaps. You would have to have a fairly targeted strike, and you'd have to be just careful to make sure if you do area of effect damage that you are hitting only the head. Basically, if you think about it, you would have to think about it as like a cone of destruction.
I think I can do that. So we still currently have +1 action, Bill. Next round is an additional.
Kieran is watching you do this.
What could possibly go wrong? Are you worried about something?
All right, PvP might happen.
So Okris just kind of turns and looks back over at Kieran. Just, I'm not gonna destroy the whole thing. Just take it off the head, a little bit off the top. and I would like to bonk it.
Would you like to roll to bonk?
I would like to roll to bonk. So this is a singular object, or can I destroy pieces of it?
I will say you can destroy pieces of it. I will say impermanence of objects will destroy this entire facility.
Okay, let's not do that.
You can try to just attack it with the hammer and use magic to benefit it. You can try to leech reality from a part of it. There's a lot of different options, but just know that if you pick something big, it's going to have consequences.
Yeah, I want to go for the neck.
Okay.
Does this thing have a neck?
Yeah, it's a Colossus, the head turned. There is kind of a join where it's moved, and you see, I think through the cracks in its skin, there seems to be a kind of almost mechanical and organic mechanism that has turned it.
So you just kind of watch Okris pull this or grab this hammer, kind of toss it up, and it just shimmers with magic. And they're gonna run, they run along the arm down and towards the neck, and then just kind of leaps and just brings it crashing down. I'm just gonna hit it with my hammer.
Okay.
I do a fuck ton of damage, guys. Like a whole fuck. Can I put sortilege into that?
You may.
I can't like empower. I don't think I can empower just a melee weapon.
Well, I will tell you this: if you would like to use divine ability to basically smite it, you can.
Can I?
Yeah. I mean,
shit. I'm gonna dump the rest of my physicality into this because I have one sorcery point left.
I misspoke. It's not divine ability that allows you to do it. It's magnificent endeavor.
Yeah, I don't have that one. I have divine ability, which is just fortes.
Yep.
But I'm gonna pump sortilege into it, I guess.
Okay.
It's still a shitload of damage because Myrmidon's strength is still rocking hard, and I have a fuck ton of stuff.
Okay.
That's not fantastic. It's a 5 and a 4 on the dice.
Okay, so there's a defender up right now. I actually need to pull a card.
I think it's mine.
Yeah. So what is your total?
I might be rolling another dice. Hold on, sorry. There's a reason why I made a whole spreadsheet just to factor in what I do. Weapon attacks.
Remember when everybody thought D&D was complicated?
Yeah, it's I did it right. I have a bonus to my venture, and I rolled a sortilege, and I have stuff. Sorry. Oh, why is this so hard? And it's an apostate. Sorry, I have to scroll back up to apostate abilities. Nope. It's just what it is. It's that's a heavy weapons plus venture plus, so that's 7. That's 7.
Okay. With a 7, you crack into the neck, and I think there's a, and then it just kind of corrects. You have done a crack to it. The edifice.
I mean, it is 15 points of damage. I'm just saying.
But what you are rolling is to get past its armor.
Rude.
Kind of like this it is still the carcass of a dead god. So the idea is that, yeah.
It's not actually 7. I was wrong. It's an 8.
I'm going to say that you think that if you have another swing that can break a higher threshold, I think what it does is, I will say this, with 15 points of damage, you have basically sheared away the piece of this neck that is a facility or a structure. And so now the mechanism is fully exposed. However, it has basically opened a window into the facility. So you are going to have one more to your venture as a bonus, but that will be on your next strike. However, you do have 2 actions, don't you?
No, that's next round.
Okay.
This was the second round. I did check depletion. Depletion's good. So Kieran and Okris. Kieran has a +1. That's where the 8 came from. I forgot about the +1 from Crescendo.
Yeah.
And so Kieran, you have a +1 on your turn to whatever you do, everything you do, because you're fast.
Excellent. Allegra, you and Arwen are up. What are you doing?
Cool. If we see an exposed window into this facility, we're going into it. Clearest, easiest path. And as part of this, I think Allegra will cast Rajamal's Reckless Haste, which is a level 4 advanced spell of the alpha size. Throwing caution to the wind, I can take an additional action this round and 2 actions next round. However, in my Mad Haste, these actions suffer a -1 penalty. Color is green. So what I will do is cast this spell as 1 action and then take a full movement worth of action as my second action.
Yep. Arwen's just going to try to keep pace with you.
Perfect.
Yeah. So you are getting into position. The enemy squad, I will say, I think that is the end of the round. The mortar team is cut off. They're trying to reposition. I will say this, the head has been knocked off its axis a little bit, and it is going to use its action to kind of course correct its axis and range of motion. I think that Ethereal Baob, seeing you guys run, well, no, you're not going to be able to see that because you're invisible. Ethereal is going to once again use freedom and I think freedom and wind, and she as if being a kind of I will say that the gossamer silks that enshroud and circle her form, 2 of them at her shoulders raise and become wings as she uses that aggregate, and she begins flying up to where she saw Everett ascend and where she saw Okris move to the top. They are going to take a pot shot at her as she flies past. I am going to pull a card for them, see if they hit her. Okay. The Crowded Tomb, I'm literally just pulling this for a number. They do not hit her because it is a 1 on the card. So she manages to make it to the top with you. Back top of the round. Kieran, you're up.
Right. A good turn for me. So I am under the effect of a Weaver enhanced speed plus Crescendo enhanced speed and +1. And I saw Mott go in this entrance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to... Oh boy, I'm going to get in the entrance and then I guess like see what's up.
Okay. I think with that hole knocked through the trunk, you I think easily make it your way in. I will say that how obvious is all of this going on? Give me another perception to see if you notice anything else.
I'm rolling with no Bene, and I have a Vex in this.
Okay. So take -1, but cancel out your Vex.
Okay. So 2 on the die, plus my bonus for the Crescendo, plus whatever card's in effect. Probably not me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are moving as quickly as you can. You have not, I think this is probably like what, 6 or 7 total. You have never moved, even with your abilities, you have never moved this fast.
Right. I just folded time and space. I never moved.
Yeah, exactly. You made the points closer together. You never got there very quickly. But you do in this case. So what you end up finding is, I think, looking around quickly, your head swiveling around, you see, I think that there is a... I'm not going to metagame that, but let me double check. You do see Ordo. He is unlike how you've seen him before, completely besuited, clad in black gloves. And you see somebody, a weaver, disintegrating, in the process of being disintegrated in a chamber. You see that Ordo has his hand on a lever, and is about to pull it. But I think that there is. Okay, so that is the picture that you see. You see these kind of brutish figures. You don't make out a lot of detail. I think with your stealth roll, Everett, you are not visible. But I will say that. Ooh, okay.
I mean, if I see Ordo Rem and he's about to do something bad, can I long step to where he is?
He's a short distance away.
Okay, I guess I was picturing like this was like a chamber that was not quite accessible easily inside
Go
this
for
place.
it. Go for it, man. Go for it. I'll back you up.
It's basically there is a bunch of obstacles between you and him. There are wires. There are kind of snaking all around the floor. There is
And
machinery
goons.
and goons.
Yeah, no, skip it. Yeah, zap.
Zap. Okay.
There and yeah, I've moved and actioned, and yeah, I mean that's it. I'm not getting the extra action from Crescendo, so I think that's it. So what I would like to do, since I'm not able to like capitalize on this immediately, is find a place where I could be out of view and be stealthy boy.
Okay. Make me a stealth roll.
Gladly. This is +4.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an 11.
Okay, awesome. So you do manage to get a spot away from this figure.
Okay.
From the figure of Ordo Rem. I believe then that is the end of your turn. Oh, Chris, what are you doing?
I think it's my turn.
Oh,
first.
pardon me. It is Everett. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
There's a lot going on.
No, it's all fine. I think that I'd like to ask, did Mott see Kieran?
I will. Well, with an 11, you rolled a 12. Your perception is pretty high at this point. I think you probably saw a flit of a darkened form.
Gotcha. So I think Mott, and you can tell me if this is no, but I feel like Mott's smart enough to know at least one member of their squad is present in the room. Mm-hmm. At the very least, okay, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Mott is going to continue sort of stalking around Ordo Rem. The room is not, it's not great for an attack here. There are too many enemies, too many variables, but I have to think about this. Interesting. I could do one of two things here. Now, I did say, for the sake of honesty, I had an emotional inversion readied. Does that mean I must use it? I don't quite know. I was thinking like D&D rules where like I had it ready. I should probably utilize it, but is that the same here?
I'm gonna say you can choose. I think that that's limiting. So go ahead.
Interesting. Well, then in that case, this is interesting. I wonder if it would work on Ordo. Now, granted, everyone can make a resistance check for anything that I do, but I have a new skill. How many enemies are around me right now, not including Ordo Rem?
I would say there are 3 of these wretches, these kind of brutes, and then there is Ordo.
Okay. I would like to instill terror.
Okay.
I have a feeling that Ordo Rem can resist this, but I want to clear the room, essentially. I think an ally of mine is here. I know Majuin is beside me. I want to get Ordo Rem alone, and I'd like to stop him from torturing anybody else. So what I am going to do is break my stealth a little bit, and clench my fists together, and summon a part of my power. Terrible and horrible visions start permeating this chamber. This is a level 5 Forte ability with 1 dice. All nearby creatures not allied with me sense the power of my nightmares and flee in terror when I make a fist.
Okay.
There is a depletion check for each round, but I can keep it going if I don't deplete it.
The wretches, all of them are below this level. You easily do this. Let me double check to make sure about that stat.
Do I need to roll to hit, don't I? Work it.
No, if the level exceeds the challenge, you're fine. I just need to double check one thing. I actually am using the book, so that's a change. To withstand, no, you beat it. Yeah. So the wretches run. You may roll, however, to see if you affect Ordo.
I will do so. I don't, the way that the spell is worded, I don't think I can really pick and choose. It literally just says anybody within the range, which is, it is a short range, and I'm assuming everybody in here is within short distance of me. I'm going to not pump a sortilege, and we'll take that anguish, mostly because I'm really hoping he sticks around.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna, so your roll.
I rolled a 9, but it's an 8 because of the anguish.
Okay. So you rolled an 8 on the die?
Yeah.
Okay, so remind me, I apologize, there's so much going on. Read for me the exact text.
This is the exact text. I said it. All nearby creatures not allied with me sense the power of my nightmares and flee in terror when I make a fist. That's it. The depletion is 0 to 2, and I check each round.
Okay.
So when it comes back around to me, I have to roll for depletion.
Okay. I need to change the music right quick. Ordo's hand flies from the lever, and he begins darting around the facility in terror, running as quickly as possible. And down the hall of this trunk, and there is a moment where he grabs an item out of his his pocket, a small miniature door, and he sticks it to the wall in front of him, and it begins to enlarge. And at which point,
sorry, I'm not sure if this is a thing, but this is a possibility I've never used before, and I don't know how reactions work really in this game, but I do have counter spell.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is an object of power. It's not a spell.
Makers, bruh.
Damn.
So I will tell you this. Sorry, Allegra, you had something.
One other thought. Which direction has he been chased? And is there any chance it is the same direction Allegra is currently heading, such that she would run into this scene?
So my question is, if from my standpoint, you are still outside. You are trying to make it your way in. How would you have gotten in? Is my question.
So wasn't there, from what Okris did, right, to like dislodge the head and open a window into the facility? That's what I had understood was Allegra's way in.
Right, and you were moving. The head is still 7 stories off the ground. So are you? My question is, like, what would you have done? Would you have lawn stepped in, or?
So last time I used my second action as full movement, and I feel like that would have been enough to get me up there based on what Kieran and Okris did, and used a full action to get up.
Well, it's still 100 vertical feet.
Well, Majuin is also next to me.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thought is, if this does intersect in some way, Sophanox can fly, and Allegra can send Sophanox ahead to at least distract and give her time to get there.
I will tell you what happens in that case. I am going to turn a card to see if Sophanox got in.
Nice.
Okay. All right. This one is the tyrannical clock, which its color is invisible. Basically, the image is, and let me kind of switch this over to the past so you guys can see it. Basically, this image is, let me double check something. Yeah, okay. So this image is of a cat sitting on top of a clock, this kind of grandfather clock, one among several floating in space. Its meanings are oppression, time, countdown, schedule, and repetition. We live and die quite literally by time. It rules our actions, for we have no actions without it. We struggle to accomplish what we must by a certain time, or we face grim consequences. We eat, sleep, and even breathe, measured by the movements of the clock. It is our master, it is our enemy. The pressures of time affect one's goals. Not only must one succeed, it must be done with a certain cutoff time. The tyrannical clock suggests some extraneous oppressive force that compels us with threat of pain or even death. The compulsion is to keep moving and to do so on a schedule. It might involve repetition or simply a deadline, depending on the circumstances. This card turn isn't automatically negative. One can still succeed, but the requirements become harsher and the challenge is greater. Something good or ill approaches and everyone knows it. A repetitious action figures prominently into important events. It is or soon will be a holiday or day of celebration. A young person with great potential comes of age. A prominent elderly person dies. PC arrives too late. A powerful authority attempts to restrict the PC. By the ticking of the clock, by the breaking of your bones, by the shrieking of the flock, the tyrant revels in the moans.
We get it. The game hates what we're doing. We get it.
Pretty overt as asking the cards a question goes. So
So,
that was a lot of words to say go fuck yourself, Zach.
So here's the thing. I'm going to say what happens. Sophanox flies in. I think that this is what you see. This is what happens. And then we're going to have to call it a night.
Wait.
The door enlarges to be about 8 by 3 feet wide. 8 feet tall by 3 feet wide. It is an arching black door. He opens it. And suddenly there's a moment of, wait, I know that fear. I know that feeling. And a frightened look cast over his shoulder. You see, it is as if watching a double image in a photograph. You see on one hand the body of Ordo Rem and the tall and lean figure of a young man with dark hair, like shedding a skin. Ordo sloughs off of this figure, falling dead. And the figure looks back at you, and a smile plays at the corner of his lips. As he points at you, Everett, Marlowe says, "See you soon." Opens the door and walks through. And that is where we're going to end the session tonight.
No.
Fuck.
You guys made a lot of choices tonight. Hey, I will tell you this. As he walks through the door and disappears into shadow, that is where we will pick up.
Into shadow. Oh, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, a little slip of the tongue there. Well,
I should say, I should not say shadow, I should say darkness.
man,
I'm fine.
I don't know any of this. I'm outside about to behead a dead god.
Well, at least we can get our Deno.
yeah.
And possibly anyone else that might be trapped in here.
I'm still reeling from the fact that I was like, but game, what if I did this? What if I try to make it in time? Aren't I clever? And the game goes, no, no. Quite literally exactly what you were going. You didn't make it in time. The game literally told me, I'm sorry, you don't make it in time.
That was that mountain card earlier for Mott's pull. Like, holy shit.
I'm just gonna call it right here. Another crack just slashes diagonally across Mott's mask.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, it is 7:36 right now. Do we want to do emotional recaps, or I think we should probably just do... wait, what? How does everybody feel about time?
Time is good. I need to scream.
Time is a social construct.
Despite what that fucking card says, I'm not ruled by it.
I was going to say this episode ended with that card still in effect. So time being the theme of
it is our master. It is our enemy.
Was that a negative to those families, by the way, Zach? Because notions, cats, and clocks are
I don't think
Ochrys's
it had a
jam.
bonus on it.
Yeah, no, it didn't have a. I think it augmented invisible magic. It empowered it. So if you guys were casting a protective spell, you would have been fine. But okay, so Everett, how you doing? Emotional recaps: joy, despair, acumen.
Well, through Gav's eyes, Gav isn't sure what just happened or why Mott is suddenly like. I think it's less Mott. She's feeling Mott's horror, and Mott is usually the master of fear. It's not in reverse, but the nightmares have to come from somewhere, don't they? And she feels like they might have found the source of it, but I don't think she knows what to make of that. So ironically enough, I think we get a joy from Gav, who is witnessing this, because she's seeing, the picture is becoming clearer. She's seeing more into what is going on. I think the closest, I mean, if I could give her a curiosity point, I would. But in this case, I think joy, because the story is unfolding.
Yeah, absolutely. And take 2 acumen for getting yourself inside of the facility, in spite of kicking the hornet's nest, as
and
it
getting
were.
31 enhancements, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
We only have 27 of those for next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's forever. It's for the rest of the war report, guys. I can't. There's no way I'm going to blow through these fast enough.
Oh, you say that. Kieran, joy, despair, acumen.
So continuing to view this through Maurice's perspective, but I think since Maurice's perspective was Kieran's perspective and they saw the end of everything, that's going to be a despair. I think that really shook them up, both of them. So that'll be a despair.
Absolutely. And take 2 acumen for literally saving Satyrine. Okris.
I'm sure
Joy,
it would have been fine. It would have been fine. You didn't need to do that.
totally fine, right?
Totally fine.
Joy, despair.
For Okris?
Also, character arcs, if anybody has them.
No, mine hadn't. Well, that's actually an argument, Zach. I don't know how you want to play that. One of my character arcs is literally find out who you are, and this seems to have just muddied the waters.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for that.
I do my best.
Yeah. So I just have so much despair, just chilling. I have just vaults of despair, deep wells of despair. And as much it would be very convenient to have some joy. This all sucks. Real fucking for Okris, this was probably a joy. For Twigg, this was just yeeting oneself into an abyss of despair, as they just watched almost the whole world end, and then also basically the best that can be said is that this person who has stolen their body likes hitting things so hard that gods explode, which is not comforting.
You know, hey, you do what you're good at. Finally, Allegra, joy. And also take 2 acumen for ending the world. Or almost ending the world. I figure that deserves a little extra credit. And giving your GM a fucking heart attack.
I feel like I should get extra credit for that. Like, come on.
Absolutely.
But also the I will say as a player, the number of times where I've had, like, when Kieran was like, "You'll end everything," and I'm just like, "That was your argument against doing that?" Like,
Thanks, I love it.
thanks, I love it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Allegra, joy, despair.
So I think Allegra has accepted for maybe the first time the stakes of being responsible for her lieutenants, and also I think the stakes of harkening back. I'm going to do a couple like callbacks to some of the cards we pulled this session because there were many, but I'm going to weave them thematically into this response because that's how I do. Forbidden Game. I think the fact that like the end of the world or whatever Kieran saw that was like a massive traumatizing thing that really was the result of a single decision. I think for her, kind of putting those two things together, that very much breaks like this, you've been playing this as a game, but the reality is so much. You can make chess moves in war, you can think about it in that construct, but literally a wrong move, you don't get do-overs. Like you could kill everyone, you could kill people that you're responsible for. Like the pressure is on for you to make the exact sequence of correct decisions in the exact order that will produce the result you need. And so I guess the gravity of being in mortal peril is how I will summarize that. Calling back to the driver card and assassin card dual pull, both in her family, one after the other. I think the revelation coming out of that for Allegra is that the kid gloves are off, and that like, you know, I think that like she can't be pulling punches anymore. She has to be hitting with everything she has, and you know the stakes are too high not to do that. And so I think what comes out of this is probably despair. Much like Hopper said, I think it would be convenient if it was joy, but I think it's despair because despite the fact that Allegra has kicked it into another gear, has just said, you know what, I can't sit back and strategize. I have to act now. She did all that and it still wasn't enough. Ordo Rem's impersonator still got away. And I think there's still time to save Ardeno. That's a whole other, thing we'll find out next time. But for the moment, I think it's despair for Kyrrie reading this through Allegra as Allegra's best still wasn't enough here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think having that realization, that revelation, while at the same time leading Arwen through this operation, give yourself 2 acumen. Okay, so now we're just going to quickly do a round of shout outs and plugs, starting with Marcy.
Hello, everyone. I don't have a whole lot to shout out. I just want to remind everyone that our other show, Flights of Fandom, that many of us are frequently guests on, is going to be dark for the rest of the month, but it is coming back in May at our usual time on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And Hopper will be taking us through a Mass Effect flight for the month. It's going to be a lot of fun. Both Zach and I will be players in that. Do stop by. It's going to be absolutely bonkers. I'm very excited. In addition to that, you should check out some of our many other shows. We've got I think we have Dawn of Flame on Saturdays as well. We also have our happy hour games on Wednesday. Maybe I signed up to be in this week, so you don't know what could happen. So good times are all around. And as always, stay tuned to our Hole in the World stream, not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Awesome. Bill, shout outs or plugs?
I want to take this moment to talk about our friends of the show, Party of One, and All My Fantasy Children, Jeff Stormer. Those are 2 of his podcasts that are amazing. Also check out Encounter Party, friend of the show. They they finished season 3, wrapping up a campaign, and they've got really fun stuff on the horizon. I can't wait for y'all to hear about it. Cypher Unlimited, friends of the show, great dudes. They had Monty Cook on as their guest like 2 weeks ago. Check that out if you want to see that. I'd like to shout out a brand new plug for me. This is Professor Scott Bug on Twitter. He's an eminent scientist, and you can hear the pilot episode of his new podcast, Bewilderments and Scientifics. Look up Professor Scott Bug and check out some of their work. I think you'll really enjoy this very scientific and very serious podcast.
with a pitch like that, I gotta. Hopper, shout outs and plugs.
I think everybody covered him pretty fucking well.
You're welcome.
I'm fucking dry. I don't got shit left. We covered the entire fucking network. My upcoming game. All our friends. I don't know. Fuck. Who else do I know? I don't know. Definitely come in May. It's gonna be awesome. I'm a disaster, but I do know Mass Effect pretty well, and I have such good players. I literally just kind of like push the dominoes and then watch them just disaster all over the place.
What could go wrong?
Legendary Action Official. I'm pretty happy with the hack, and I'm not a big fan of like just treating every single game D&D as the answer to every single game system, but there's not none of the other ones I found quite fit that Mass Effect vibe, so I just throw out most of the rules. So watch me drink probably too much for GMing and run these savages through.
What is that? I always love that. Oh yeah, too much drinking for GMing. I'm too drunk now. Come on. Finally, Marissa, shout outs or plugs.
Yeah, keeping with the theme of brand new plugs, a project that I've been a part of for a little while as a contributing writer and as the lead editor has started to promote, so I can now talk about it and how amazing it is. So Omens Rising is a new science fantasy tabletop system inspired by JRPGs that seeks to create a sense of belonging, autonomy, and purpose. Y'all, this game is phenomenal. It has the highest diversity of writers that I have seen in a long time in a tabletop system. Everyone who's writing for it is fantastic. The whole group has such an incredible sense of cohesion and vision, and it's lovely. I can't gush about it enough. It's still early days, so I can't say too much, but give it a follow on Twitter. There is now a Twitter account for this game. It's at Omens Rising is the handle, and you won't regret it.
Awesome. And for my own part, guys, I just want to shout out a small couple things. First off, we do have a few new uploads to the YouTube channel. I will go ahead and put them in chat here, or at least the link to it rather. We have some new episodes of Flights of Fandom Longshot debuting. We did go ahead and put all of the episodes up of Hearthward Bound. Krifu has been uploading the Book of Brethedda, or Tales from the Pact World, so that has been super cool, and you guys should check that out. That's a really great Starfinder stream. Hoboken by Night, my own little fright of fandom, has its first 2 episodes up, and the final 2 are going to be hitting soon. I'm hoping we're going to publish Good Society's actual play shortly thereafter, along with some more Flights of Fandom content. And finally, we're going to also have the full Back Alley Charmers Dishonored flight, along with the Hole in the World, The War Report, episode 6, this episode, coming up shortly. As for shoutouts, we've hit everybody that I love doing shoutouts for, and Counterparty is streaming right now, so we will go ahead and outro to raid them. But I will also say I want to shout out some folks that are in chat, namely Dratsum, who runs a really great Dead by Daylight stream of which I'm a part, plays a lot of really cool retro FMV games. I think he is playing X-Files right now. Or not right now, this moment, but as part of his most recent set of streams, often watches some really cool bad YouTube videos, so you guys should check him out. First off, also big shout out to Legendary Action for coming in and saying hey. Thanks so much for joining us, Fesnerax. Let me see, I think it's Fesnerax the Fantastic. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We're so glad to have you. I really love going through the insanity of this. And even though I'm kind of losing my shit on stream, you guys are very kind about it. So I appreciate that. And finally, just as always, everybody, we're able to see the indigo light at the end of the tunnel pretty soon. Everybody is coming along. Everybody's getting their shots, getting vaccinated. Small gatherings are probably going to be a very real reality this summer, if not more, CDC willing. So guys, take care of yourselves, take care of the people that you love and that you care about. And most importantly, I hope that the invisible sun shines on you all. Stick around for the raid, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.